What if I told you that even the greatest champions, fighters who seemed invincible, have met their end in the most violent way possible? One punch, one kick, one split-second mistake, and their reign was over. Some knockouts don't just end fights. They shatter legacies. From head-kick chaos to last-second destruction, we're counting down the 5 most brutal knockouts in UFC champion history. And trust me, some of these will haunt your memory. Let's get into it. For 4.5 rounds, Kamaru Usman was on his way to cementing himself as one of the greatest welterweights of all time. He had dominated Leon Edwards with relentless wrestling, looking like an unstoppable force. The fight was all but over, until it wasn't. With less than a minute left, Edwards unleashed a perfectly timed head kick that flatlined Usman instantly. The arena erupted. The crowd couldn't believe it. A single kick changed history. Edwards went from Rocky the underdog to world champion in a heartbeat, proving that in the UFC, it's never over until it's over. For years, Anderson Silva had been untouchable, the longest reigning UFC champion, a human highlight reel, a magician in the cage, but when he faced Chris Weidman, the unthinkable happened. In their first fight, Silva's signature showboating cost him dearly. Weidman caught him with a left hook and sent him crashing to the canvas. But it was the rematch that gave us one of the most horrifying knockouts in MMA history. In round 2, Silva threw a powerful leg kick, but Weidman checked it perfectly, snapping Silva's leg in half. The king had fallen. The greatest striker in UFC history lay on the canvas, his body and his legacy fractured in a way no one saw coming. Before this fight, Ben Askren was undefeated. A world-class wrestler, a trash-talking machine, and a fighter who believed no one could touch him. But Jorge Masvidal had other plans. The fight started. Masvidal sprinted forward, leapt into the air, and bam! Knee to the face. 5 seconds. The fastest knockout in UFC history. Askren was out cold before he hit the ground. His undefeated record? Gone. His career? Never the same. This wasn't just a knockout. It was a statement. Stipe Miocic was the most dominant heavyweight champion the UFC had ever seen. He had already beaten Francis Ngannou once before. Many thought history would repeat itself, but this was a different Ngannou, a more dangerous, more refined, more terrifying version of himself. In the second round, Ngannou landed a left hook that sent Miocic into another dimension. As Stipe fell, he instinctively tried to counter, but Ngannou had already unleashed a follow-up hammer fist that shut the lights off for good. Miocic lay motionless. The baddest man on the planet was no longer the champion, and the UFC had a new nightmare. José Aldo was an undisputed legend, the greatest featherweight of all time, undefeated for a decade. No one could touch him. Then came Conor McGregor, the brash Irishman with a left hand that could end careers. The hype for this fight was insane. The build-up? One of the greatest in UFC history. But no one expected what happened next. Bell rings. Aldo charges forward. McGregor reads it, leans back, and lands a left hand straight to Aldo's chin. 13 seconds. One punch. It was over. The king was dethroned in the blink of an eye. The MMA world stood still. McGregor didn't just win a belt. He changed the sport forever. These knockouts didn't just end fights. They ended eras. Some champions never recovered. Some never fought again. Now it's your turn. Which knockout was the most shocking? Did we miss any legendary finishes? Who will be the next champion to suffer a brutal KO? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more fight breakdowns, post-fight reactions, and exclusive UFC content.